Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 2nd November 2016. The 11 news items which we have picked up from the Hindu newspaper for today are these. We'll discuss each of them in detail. The first one, 8 civilians killed in Pakistan firing. So we have seen so far that the cross LOC and cross international border firings between Indian and Pakistan forces continue. And we have seen in yesterday's editorial also how the major brunt of this is borne by the villages, border villages along the LOC and international border on the Indian side, which is much more populated. So even the present case is of 8 civilians being killed, and out of these 2 were children and 4 women. So we have also seen yesterday in the map, the India-Pakistan border in Jammu and Kashmir is not just the LOC which separates POK, but there is also an international border in Jammu region between India and Pakistan. So there are ceasefire violations over here too. So all 174 schools situated along the international border and LOC in Jammu have been closed until further order. So this is the grim situation here presently. Then the next news item, again we have discussed this yesterday too, about Simi Men, Students Islamic Movement of India, a banned organization, a terrorist organization. People under trials here were charged of terrorist activities too. They fled the jail from Bhopal and they were killed in an encounter. So there are allegations of this encounter being not required, in the sense that witnesses also say that the Simi men who had fled were encountered by the police. The people tipped them. There were civilians also present in the region. There are even videos which have come out showing how the gunning was done. And they say that these Simi men were unarmed. They had no guns with them. They were throwing stones at the police officers and even at the civilians. And they were standing in a position, the other side of which was a deep fall. So they were surrounded by the police on all sides. So there was no need for an encounter is what comes out. So that is the case. Also, how they fled from the jail is another matter, because the police claims here that they used logs of wood which were lying around in the jail for building a ladder, and they used bed sheets to provide rungs for that ladder, steps for the ladder, and even they used human pyramids. They made human pyramids and climbed over the walls which were as high as even 35 foot, and eventually they fled from the jail. Also, how they came out from their cells is using toothbrushes which they modified to form the key, and they came out from the cells. So all these are the evidences or viewpoints which are coming out from the jail authorities about how they describe the fleeing from the jail of these Simi men. So of course the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh has also called for an investigation into how these Simi men fled from the jails. Also one constable was also killed in this fleeing, so that is also to be investigated. Plus the another aspect is about the encounter, whether the encounter has to be investigated or not. The state government, BJP government of Madhya Pradesh, says no, there will be no investigation on the encounter. So this is actually in violation of the Supreme Court order too, that every police encounter has to have an independent investigation done. So but the government says that you should have faith in the police. The police does its job and it has to be praised for that rather than speculating about it. So the human rights violation is another aspect which has to be seen into, because if the encounter is fake, it is violating the rule of law, and Supreme Court has come down sternly against any human rights violation, whether it be a civilian, an under trial, or even a convict. Human rights cannot be violated. The law should take its own course, and if they are convicted, they will be hanged too. But police cannot encounter them. So that is the aspect. So there are various cases also, judicial cases, in which it has given its judgment about how to tackle such situations. So the Supreme Court judgments, you can see here, it has said in one case in 2011, the Supreme Court also said that such fake encounters should be treated as rarest of the rare cases, and these police officers should be hanged. So death penalty should be given to the police officers. So such are the recommendations of the Supreme Court in fake encounters, if the encounter is fake. And how do you come to know that? Through an independent probe. So an independent investigation has to be done. That has been mandated in 2014, that all such cases require mandatory investigation, which presently the state government is refusing to undertake. So these are there. Then the next news item is US cautions its citizens on IS threat in India. So an advisory has been issued by the American Embassy. It is warning all the citizens of US who are there in India who generally visit places like religious sites, markets, and festival venues. It says that these are places which are under high alert. They may be targeted by IS. So it has given heightened threat perception from the IS targeting India. So that is the viewpoint coming for the first time from US. Specific travel advisory to its citizens. Then the next news item is about Huansang builds another bridge to India. So Huansang is an ancient Chinese pilgrim who visited India in the 7th century during the time of Harshvardhan, and he stayed in Bihar. He had also attended the Nalanda University. So presently, Chinese Consulate General in Kolkata and Nalanda University have come together. Nalanda University presently has been re-established. So they have come together to have a public event to explain the depth of China-India relation over the past 1400 years. So it's an ancient link between the two nations. So that will be highlighted. India-China relations presently are strained because of China blocking India's NSG entry. Then Masood Azhar's declaration as a terrorist, which India is demanding at UN, is again blocked by China. So this is another aspect which has been highlighted. The other two Chinese pilgrims who had visited India were Fa Hin and Ai Sing. They have all written their memoirs, so they detail out about India-China relations also and the status of India during those times. So that is there. Also, there are talks of excavations to be done by with permission from Archaeological Survey of India to find out new evidences too. Then the next news item is after shutting liquor shops, Bihar seeks suggestions on prohibition. So we have already discussed this in October. Bihar Prohibition and Excise Act of 2016 was implemented, which undertakes prohibition. So prohibition basically means that liquor should not be served in the state. It should be liquor free. So that is alcohol free. So if even an alcohol bottle is found in the premises of a house too, all family members can be arrested. There are stringent punishments for violation of this act. So it has also been called a draconian act by the opposition. So it was challenged in Patna High Court. The Patna High Court, it was rejected, and in that case the Bihar government again passed a new law with the same provisions, and that is put into effect, and it has challenged the striking down by Patna High Court in the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is hearing the matter presently, and in between now the Bihar government, after having implemented the law and having around 18,000 people who have been arrested too under this law, they have now called from views of the public on prohibition. So public views are invited by the government on prohibition now. So that is the news. Then the next news item is lesser wages for equal work in violation of human dignity. So this is regarding the Supreme Court's views coming forth that denial of equal pay for equal work is a violation of rule of law and also international laws, as India is a signatory to International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights of 1966. So equal pay for equal work cannot be violated. This principle cannot be violated, because generally this is seen that temporary employees are appointed, daily wages are there, casual and contractual employees are appointed. So they are doing the same work as permanent employees, but wages are very low. So this is called by the Supreme Court as exploitative enslavement. So they are not voluntarily working, but they have no option. So involuntarily they accept lesser pays also. So Supreme Court has come down sternly against this. It says it's violating human dignity. So that is the news. Then the next news item is the arms deal trial destined to go cold. So we have already discussed this yesterday in news that names of some Russian and British arms firms, Rolls-Royce specifically, has come forth, who have paid hundreds of crores of rupees to an arms dealer, Sudhir Chaudhary, and his family. Their organizations owned by them. So there are allegations and it requires an investigation being done, but there are less chances of this happening because so far all cases of defense deals having corruption charges have not come to their logical conclusion. Many cases have been closed by the CBI and Enforcement Directorate ED, who undertakes these investigations due to lack of evidence. So these cases have shut. So even the Augusta Westland case, which was the recent one which came up, in that case also no progress has taken place yet. So it was the VVIP helicopters which were purchased from this Italian firm. Italy government revealed or exposed this corruption, and it has undertaken investigation, and based on that we have evidences. but then India has not come forth with much progress in this investigation. So that is also seen. So present case also it is shown here. You can see the Rolls-Royce, we have undertaken the Hawk deal with them. So Hawk, which is the aircraft Mk-132 aircraft from BAE of UK, which we have procured from them thrice in 2004, 5 and 2010. So 2010 deal was required to be completed in 2016. All the Hawk aircraft should have been given to India, but it has been delayed. So payments have already been done. So this is about the Hawk deal, in which corruption charges are cropping up right now. So Rolls-Royce of course refuses, but let's see if the British investigation is undertaken and some evidences come forth, or if India will undertake some investigation. We'll have to wait and watch. And the Russian firms involved are also, one suggestion in the leaked papers was also about the BrahMos cruise missile firm, which is the joint cruise missile between India and Russia. The Russian firm involved is Mashinostrelnya. So it has also been accused of corruption charges in these leaked papers, which have come out from the Swiss bank account transfers, which were given to the media firms BBC and The Guardian, and then the Hindu also acquired those documents and has published them. So this is the case. So MIG, which is another Russian organization, is also accused of corruption charges. And the same person, Sudhir Chaudhary, has been accused earlier too, but the cases, as I said, were closed by the CBI because of lack of evidences. We'll have to wait and watch in this case too if something happens. Then the next news item is cess plan could mean 10 different GST rates. So we have already discussed about GST and the GST Council. GST Act has been passed by the legislature, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and also half the states. It has been given assent by the president, but the formalities about the taxation rates, compensation to the states have to be decided by a GST Council, which has been established. The GST Council comprises of the Union Finance Minister and all state finance ministers. So it is chaired by the Union Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley. So they have to come together and decide on the tax rates. So what the central government has proposed in the last meeting, it was not acceptable to the states. So now a new meeting, fresh meeting will also be there in November. So again we'll hear about what developments take place on this. But what has been proposed by the central government in the previous meeting was also 4 GST tax rate slabs. So 0% for some commodities, and it will go up to 26% maximum for ultra luxury goods and sin goods. Sin goods basically means goods which are not good for the health or for the society, like tobacco consumption. And ultra luxury goods are luxury cars and such commodities. So maximum tax rate on them is 26%. What the central government has proposed is that on top of this maximum tax rate on these goods, there will be a cess imposed, which will be the environment cess, and that cess will be used for compensation to the states, because states are expected to undergo a little loss in the initial years of transition to GST, goods and services tax. So to compensate them, center has taken the responsibility under the act. So how the funding would come? This is the idea of the government to ensure funding. So this cess will remain for 5 years. That's what the government says. After that, it will be scrapped. But what we see is this cess rate presently comes out will not be a single rate, because the government wants cess rate imposed in such a way that the incident tax, means taxation which is there presently, that same percentage should remain even after GST. Means, for example, 26% is the tax rate on tobacco or the cigarette. Then cigarettes presently are taxed at 53% rate. So then the cess on top of 26% should be such that incidence is again same as 53%, close to that. So for that, cess is a rate which is charged on tax. Means tax percentage ke upar ek percentage. So then cess percentage will go as high as even 100% in this case, to ensure that it reaches 53%. Matlab 26 jitna pura. So 26 plus 26 goes up to 52. So that's the idea, 100% cess, which will be imposed, and such cess rates will be different for different commodities. So that has also come out. So that's why it says that cess plan could mean 10 different GST rates. So this, they say, will complicate the GST system. The states do not want cess to be imposed. They want taxation rates should be such. And they are also demanding a uniform tax rate, which again the central government has quite often said that that is not possible, that all commodities can be taxed at a uniform rate. So there are opposition on the state side. We'll see in the fresh GST Council meet how they come over their differences, and the central government whether it is able to ensure that the GST Act comes into effect from 1st April 2017 as planned. So we'll wait and watch. And the last news item is Pune researchers turn insulating MOFs into semiconductors. For this, we'll first understand what is MOF and what are semiconductors. So MOF are insulating, means they do not conduct electricity. So MOF is metal organic framework. So it is a compound consisting of metal ions or clusters coordinated to organic ligands to form 1, 2 or 3 dimensional structures. So these have a special feature that they are porous. So these are generally used for storage of gases too in these ports, such as hydrogen, carbon is stored. Their other applications are even in gas purification, so they can extract some gases and purify, in gas separation, as catalysts or as sensors or as supercapacitors also. So that is, the pores give them the special feature and they are used, but they are insulators. So what this present research has done is these insulated MOFs have been converted into semiconductors. Now what are semiconductors? Semiconductors are crystalline or amorphous solids with distinct electrical characteristics. So there can be a conductor and an insulator. Conductor which conducts electricity, insulator which does not conduct electricity. So these insulators have high resistance. So even semiconductors have resistance to electric conduction, but that resistance is much lower than that of insulators. That's why the name semiconductors. So their resistance is variable. It depends on temperature changes. So if temperature increases, resistance decreases and they can conduct electricity. So that is a behavior opposite to metals also. So their conduction can be regulated. So that is the reason why semiconductors are used in construction of diodes. So diodes are formed with semiconductors, transistors and ICs, integrated chips, which are the key for the circuit of the computers also. So all electronic devices use semiconductors. So semiconductors is an important revolution which helped in development of electronic devices. So semiconductors presently used are generally silicon. So this semiconductor which they have developed is organic MOF being used, metal organic framework being used as a semiconductor. So of course its efficiency is much lower than a silicon conductor, but they say that this will be very cheap and this will help in further development of electronic applications in future as they proliferate. In every sphere of life, electronic appliances are seen. So this is the significance of their research, and how they have done this is using nanotechnology, that this metal organic framework which is insulating has been combined with iodine. So iodine has been used in this, and they have inserted monomers, that is, in the pores of this metal organic framework, pyrrole monomers have been added and they are converted into polymers. So monomers again are insulating. When they become polymers, they become electrically conducting. So that is the reason why how these MOFs have been conducted to electrically conducting components. So that is the news. So that is it about today. Thank you. Presently, you can download the PDF from the website. The entire PDF of news, editorial and question bank will be uploaded daily on the website. So that can be availed based on demand of many students for making PDFs available for these content. Thank you.